Hello and welcome to section 1 of Unit 4 of International Procurement. Today we'll be discussing international trade. By the end of this section, you should be able to define what international trade is, understand the importance of international trade, and explain the types of international trade. International trade refers to the exchange of goods and including capital equipment and raw materials across countries, satisfying national, business, and individual needs. Basically, the idea of international trade is the exchange of, the idea of trade in itself is the exchange of goods and services. But here we are seeing international trade, so it's basically the exchange of goods and services across borders to satisfy human needs. So for countries, it represents a very important part of the country's GDP or gross domestic product, the living standards, the employment, and what have you. And for businesses, it provides the raw material, manpower, and other essential goods and services. So we know that as for countries, export and import or international trade talks about or is a very important feature in its gross domestic product. For businesses, also serve as a means of providing raw materials, human resource, and other essential goods for production, which may not be available in the specific country. International trade also ensures that businesses are able to offer greater choices for consumers by procuring the appropriate and different raw materials. So, for example, um, the international market gives us a wider view or gives us a wider scope of raw materials. So, where there are lots of choices for consumers to, procure or pick from. So let's go straight to types of international trade. So we say that for the types of international trade, we have the export trade. And for export trade, it refers to goods and services that flows out of a country. You already know what export is. If we are exporting cocoa, then it means it is that flow of cocoa from Ghana to the Europeans, the Americans, and the Caribbeans. So basically, it is how goods move from one country to the other. And the seller of such goods and services is an exporter. If someone does that, then the person may be termed as an exporter. So methods of exporting include mail, cargo, sea, and the internet. One may ask, how do we export things through internet? People are in Ghana and they are expatriates working in different countries through internet. That's also another way of exporting our human resource or labor. So export allows countries to send their abundance resources to other countries, and that's what I said earlier. So you may say that, oh, there are a lot of Ghanaian nurses in Ghana, so then let's move some of them to UK to work on behalf of the government or work based on an agreement. So basically, all of these things can serve as international trade or a type of international trade when it comes to export trade. Then we come to the significance of business environments. It's also explained with the help of some input. So we have the imports. Yes, so we have the import trade too, or what I mostly want to term it as um, um, getting goods from a different country or getting goods from country A into your home country. So import refers to goods coming in into a country from another country. Import refers to the transaction in goods and services to citizens of another nation or national jurisdiction other than your main country. So if we buy goods from even Cote d'Ivoire, that could be termed as an import. So import allows a country to supply existent and scarce resources, raw materials, and products to its markets from other countries. Mostly, you would only import goods that are not in existence in your country. For example, something like apples. I know that we don't grow apples in Ghana, so we may want to import apples in this country. So that's why there's always that fear of people saying that if we don't take care, the way our lands are being destroyed, few years to come we may import water But then it's something that's, I mean, is to put that fear in us that we have to keep our environments clean so that we don't destroy all our water bodies. Then we come to export trade. Sorry, we come to interport trade. Sorry. So this is a combination of the export and import trade and is known as re-exports. So it's basically like Ghana exporting cocoa to the UK. That is, in that case, if Ghana exports cocoa to UK, it will be an import for UK. So if UK imports cocoa from Ghana and add some form of value to it to convert it into chocolate and then exports to other countries, like let's say exports to America, then that is what will be termed as an interport trade. So it is mostly importing goods from one country, then exporting it to another after some form of value have been added to it. So in this section, we looked at the importance of international trade, the types of international trade as well. See you next time. Thank you.